So we just finished up step number 7, and now I'm going to show you a little bit more about how this budget tab in orange right here, I'm going to show you a little bit more about how this tab specifically works. Before we start, I just want to point something out so it doesn't confuse you. Solely for the purposes of making this video, I have made some copies of some sheets right here called copy of transactions and copy of budget. That's just for this video. Those will not exist ever in your sheet, and I just put them there temporarily to make this video quicker so I don't have to type out lots and lots of different things. So you can just ignore the fact that these tabs exist because they will not exist on your actual budget. Okay, so in the last video where we left off, I explained how on the date that you start your budget, you need to assign every single dollar that you currently own to a budget category. You may also notice that the amounts in this video are different than they were in the last video, and that's because I went ahead and switched to my sample copy because it's going to be easier to show you with real numbers that already exist. So in this example, this person started their budget on January 17th. On that date, they had $23,416.23 available, and as you'll remember, this number, $23,416.23, is the sum of their cash and bank accounts minus the amount they owe to their credit cards equals $23,416.23. And then what this person did on January 17th is went through and assigned every single penny of that $23,416.23 to a budget category, and that is their starting budget balance. As of right now, because we have not entered any transactions whatsoever, the amount that is listed here in the starting budget amount is going to be the exact same amount that is listed in column C, and that shows you your available balance as of today. So what I want to show you in this video is kind of how this sheet, the budget sheet, and the transaction sheet interact with each other, and see some kind of real-world examples. So let's start out with, say, mortgage and rent. Let's just say in this example that for whatever reason I pay my mortgage on the 18th of the month every month. So what would happen is when I pay my mortgage, when I do it, I'm actually going to go to this transactions tab right here, and I'm going to enter that payment as a transaction. So you put in the date, which in this case would have been January 18th, 2020. I'm just going to call it mortgage company, and that's the people I paid. The transaction is going to be for mortgage or rent. The account I used to pay was my checking account. The amount I paid was, I believe, $967.08. Whoops, I typed that in the wrong place. Let's try that again. Okay, so I paid $967.08, and then this is going to be outflow. Outflow is another word for money moving out, or a purchase, or a payment. So it's outflow. So I'm just going to type in outflow, select that. All right, so you'll see this says $967.08 in the amount I paid, and it's going towards my mortgage or rent, which means here on this budget tab, oh, whoops. Well, this is a great example. I had $967.06 to spend on my mortgage and rent. I spent $967.08 on my mortgage, which means I spent 2 cents more than what I had budgeted for my mortgage on my mortgage. And so you'll notice this comes up as a negative number that is red because I have overspent 2 cents on my mortgage. Obviously that was a typo, but a great typo because it shows you how this is going to work. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this actually to the correct number, which would be 06, because that's what I actually spent. And then you'll see, oh, magic. That now means I have $0 left to spend on mortgage because I've allocated $967.06. I've spent $967.06 on mortgage, so that means I have $0 left to spend on mortgage. Make sense? Okay, so now I'm going to show you kind of what this is going to look like after I've entered lots and lots of transactions. So just temporarily close your eyes for this part because I don't want to confuse you, and I'll tell you when to come back. You can ignore everything from starting right now until I say come back. Okay, come back. So now, in this little fake world, we're pretending that today's date is January 31st of 2020. And for the entire month of the rest of the month of January, since I started this budget until January 31st, I have been living my life and making transactions and purchases all over. Walgreens and Spotify, I paid my trash bill, I got some groceries, etc., etc., etc. So as I was making those purchases or making that income or making transfers, I was entering all those transactions here onto this transactions sheet. Okay? So it's already January 31st, like I said. So we're going to go to the budget sheet and see what is going on over here. So there's a few things that are happening here. Let's start on the left-hand side. The available balance that is in my budget, any number that exists here is the sum of all the money I've ever assigned to that category, which would be this number plus this number, if there was a number there, plus this number if there was a number there, plus this number if there was a number there. All of these numbers that I've ever assigned to mortgage or rent, minus all of the money that I've ever spent on mortgage rent and put that into this transaction category, is going to equal the total amount of money I have available. So, like we've already talked about, for all time, since I've only been using this budget for 2 weeks, I've assigned a grand total of $967.06 towards my mortgage. In that time, I've spent $967.06 on my mortgage, which means I now have $0 left to spend on my mortgage and rent. Okay? Let's look at another number to see a great example of this. Let's actually go down to groceries. So when I started this budget, I assigned the initial amount of $515 towards my groceries. Then, during the month of January, from January 17th through the 31st, I spent money on groceries, and here's a great one. So I spent $119 on January 18th on groceries, and then, let's see, on January 20th, I spent $6 on groceries. Oh, and then I spent some more, $5.87 on groceries, etc., etc. There's probably a few more transactions here that say groceries. So on this sheet, this number here that appears next to groceries and the budget fund category balances, this number is $515, which is the total amount of money I've ever assigned, since I've only ever assigned money once, to groceries. So it's $515 minus all the money I've ever spent on groceries, because I put it here on the transaction sheet, equals the amount I have available left to spend on groceries, which in this case would be $255.60. Okay? And let's look at one more example. How about prescription medicines? So when I started using this budget, I decided to assign $40 towards prescription medicines, and then at some point between January 17th and January 31st, I spent, it looks like $60 because 40 minus 60 equals negative 20. So let's go look here. Let's find prescriptions. There you go. That's it. Yep, and on January 19th, I spent $60 on prescription medicines, which means the amount I now have to spend on prescription medicines is negative $20. All right? So I think you understand what this budget fund category balance is. It's the sum of all the money you've ever assigned, which will be the sum of every number you put on any given line towards a budget category, minus all the money you've ever spent on that budget category will equal the amount you have available right here in the budget category. I think I'm going to stop that video for now, and then in the next one, I will talk about what we need to do to get rid of this ugly non-zero number right here. So watch the next video.